talking before this about Kyrie's situation, man.
Fact.
And so I was saying I don't even really understand exactly what he even did, but put up a link to a documentary where it was about. I think the title was from
Hebrews to Negroes.
Heroes to Negroes.
From Hebrews to Negroes.
Hebrews to Negroes. And I'm just like, okay, is that something where it was bad, or did you have to watch the documentary to now be mad at Kyrie?
I mean, I don't see it as nothing bad because, the bad part about the movie that I seen was,
So you watched it?
I watched it.
Okay.
About it. You know what I mean? So
Okay.
I definitely can speak on it because I watched the movie. You know what I mean? It was a couple of quotes in the movie that, from a book that was written by a Jewish author. And I believe the book was something about I can't think of the title of the book that he quoted, but the author, he had the author name in there in the book or whatever, and the book was by a Jewish author, and he was saying the six deceptions of Judaism. And then he also made a quote, he posted a quote in the movie right before that from Tom Ford, the creator of the Ford company. He had some things to say about Jewish people, which wasn't too nice neither. But those was all quotes from other people. I didn't see anything that, that was like, I definitely could see where people could come offended to it. You quoted somebody who said something negative about Jewish people, which that could be taken as anti-Semitic. But I don't think the reason that Kyrie got in trouble was because of the anti-Semiticness. I think the reason he got in trouble was from saying that he was considering himself as a Jew.
There are black Jewish people though, right?
I mean, there are black Jewish people. There are people who Jewish people accept as Jewish people, as black Jews, but the truth is, broadly, they don't accept
black Jews.
Black Jews. And then the thing about it, and the ones that they do accept, you got to go into and you got to see how they treat those people. It just came out that they were sterilizing the Ethiopian women that was coming over there, forcing sterilization on these women. So
they won't get pregnant.
If they wouldn't get pregnant, as they let them leave Ethiopia and come into their land, they was forcibly sterilizing these women to keep them from having babies. So, I think it's more accepted. I think America don't understand the relationship between blacks and Jew roots. You know what I mean? Like a lot of the black people came on slave trade in the transatlantic slave trade was Jews. Mm-hmm. These was the reasons that they wouldn't convert to Islam. Now, when you go back into it, if you go as they're starting to realize now, if you look it up, you can look up black tribes in Africa that's been practicing Judaism since the expel of the Romans, talking about 1700 AD or 700 AD and different things like that. You know what I mean? So, it's a deep relationship between the blacks here in America, and being in Jewish roots. You know what I mean? So when Kanye said, I can't be anti-Semitic because I am
Kyrie
Semitic.
Or Kanye?
Yeah, okay. He say, I can't be anti-Semitic because I am Semitic. I am a Jew. Those things, it go over people's head, but, then when Kyrie comes out and say from Hebrews to Negroes, it goes over people's head. They not really, the people don't understand what the uproar is. A lot of people would think, we put it out like anti-Semitic. But really, the problem is that not that you're being anti-Semitic. The problem is that if you calling yourself a Jew, then you must be calling somebody else either imposter or a fake Jew or anything like that. That's what the problem is. You know what I mean? The problem isn't that, even when Kyrie said, I can't be anti myself. When you think about those type of statements, though people don't know the relationship between the blacks and the tribes that they took us from Africa. But if you go back into old maps of Africa, you will see that these lands were called such and such Jews. The Jews of such and such, the Jews of such and such. Most of these tribes were Jewish
in
tribes.
Africa.
In Africa, and there's a lot of tribes like the Bantu tribe of Africa. There's different ones. I can't think of them all off the top of my head that still practice those Jewish customs today. Not from learning from a Torah or a Bible. Neither. These people are practicing this from their ancestors. This stories that was told to their fathers and different things like that. So there's a deep relationship between blacks and Jews in America. You know what I mean? Definitely.
Yeah, because I had a rabbi on here.
Not saying all blacks in America are Jews, but there is a lot of black people who come from Jewish tribes in Africa.
Yeah. I had a rabbi on here, and he was saying, like, black people and Jewish people have so many similarities in trauma. That's what he was speaking on.
Yeah.
And he was like, so he don't really understand it, but he doesn't like when, or I guess he was taught that, you know, when people start talking about money and start pointing at people who got money, it's always pointed at Jewish people.
Well, when you understand that, I mean, it's like this, like when Dave Chappelle said that, I'm not saying that Jews run Hollywood, but there's a lot of Jews in Hollywood. So understand this, like, we're not gonna say that the 60s run Crenshaw and Slauson.
But it's a lot.
Of motherfucking 60s on Crenshaw and Slauson. I'm just, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, me being a blood nigga, that wouldn't probably, you know what I mean? I probably wouldn't have too much say-so over there because, you know, type shit. So, you know, like, you can't get mad at people for stating the obvious. That's just like saying, you know, when we say, and the thing about it is with the Jewish community, which I understand, but it's like, I can't be oversensitive to a certain, that would make me prejudiced. Like, how could I be more sympathetic to Jewish people than I do white people? You know what I mean? Like, I can get on my shit and I can bash the American white man all day. And then with the Jews, you got, excuse me, I ain't said that wrong. Then with the Jewish people, you got to think about this. Why don't y'all take up for the biggest Jew that's ever been on earth?
Talking about Jesus?
Yeah. You can say whatever you want about Jesus Christ on any TV show in the world, and they will not say anything. And the reason is that they don't believe in Jesus, but then at the end of the day, isn't Jesus a Jew? Isn't Jesus a Jew? So if I say something against the entertainment industry, then I'm being anti-Semitic. If I say something that, hey man, what's called CNBC is ran by Jewish people, that's anti-Semitic. You know what I mean? But I'm targeting one person. But if I say something against Christ, then there's no problem. Yeah. So we can go on South Park and tie Christ up to all kinds of shit, beat the shit out of them. This, that. But as soon as I say that the Jews run Hollywood, then that's ridiculous. But so, we can say the white man has the whites run the NFL. 31 out of the 32 owners are white men. That's not, and we wouldn't even get in trouble. But if we say that all six of the companies that run entertainment are ran by Jewish people, then we're in trouble. Like, what the fuck? Like, it don't make no sense.
Yeah.
It don't make no sense. You know what I mean? And I think it's like people just being too sensitive. You know what I mean? But it shows, like, if people are that sensitive, what are you hiding?